Thank you.
Right.
Are you suggesting that someone's trying to make a real-life sequel?
Stab 2? Who'd want to do that? Sequels suck.
Two in the box!
Ready to go.
We be fast and
They be slow.
wow!
A second Super Saiyan? Second in order, perhaps, but by no means in stature. Your fight is with me now.
And when I kill you, I will have killed the last Jedi!
Man, I can't fucking believe this. Another basement, another elevator. How could the same shit happen to the same guy twice?
Oh, please, please. By definition alone, they're inferior films.
All right, I'm gonna start every episode now with a Maybach music.
Maybach music.
What's poppin', everyone? This is your host Chris at Inside the Sequel. You know what this is. This is that podcast where we talk about sequel movies and they really don't get enough love, and we get some cool, smart people to waste time with me to defend them and try to convince the listeners that these movies are worth checking out. And I can't think of an even better episode than like today. Today we are talking about the 2004 smash sequel hit, at least in this moviegoer's opinion. We are talking about the 2004 sequel, Anaconda 2, The Hunt for the Blood Orchid.
Heard you could take us upriver.
50 grand's my price.
When can you take us?
When can I see the money?
Oh man, is that alright?
Yeah, she may be ugly, but she puts out.
We're looking for the Blood Orchid. It holds the key to the Fountain of Youth, and it will make us rich.
Billionaires.
Yeah,
baby.
We got less than a week to get to that orchid.
Stop it. I swear to God if you don't stop it. Finn?
Holy bloody hell. Anaconda. I'm not going in the jungle.
Do you have any idea how close we are?
Hurry up!
This expedition is over.
I can't let you turn back now.
You gotta be kidding me.
Anacondas. The hunt for the blood orchid. It's mating season.
So you tell me there's some snake orgy out in the jungle?
And with me to tackle this tough assignment is none other than the terror table. It's Mitch Oliver. Mitch, how are you, man?
I'm doing great, Chris. Thank you so much for having me back to talk about this swashbuckling expedition adventure film.
Now, you know, I love to have guests on here, and I have to ask from now on, what are you drinking? Because you can't be on this podcast sober because, Lord knows, you need liquid courage to be on here.
That's going to suck when you eventually offend the shit out of a guest who's like a recovering alcoholic or something. I'm drinking White Claw Ruby Grapefruit Hard Seltzer. Do you guys have White Claws down there?
It's basically water over here now.
Yeah, it is water.
It's summer. It's summer 21. We love it.
Yeah, it's just the claw is the law when you're rolling with the White Claw.
Ain't no laws when drinking claws, baby.
That's exactly it. So yeah, I'm ready to probably destroy my reputation tonight. My already horrible.
Podcast.
What's that? Yeah.
Only on this podcast is that where people come to do that kind of thing. It's kind of like it's like a second chance podcast for like people who are flailing, or for new up and comers, or for those who just want to absolutely rip.
Yeah. I think I'm a bit of all three. I'm just always down to rip.
Well, this is the first episode I've had you on here since we did that Fantasy Oscars, eh?
No, I think, didn't we do Godzilla after that? Godzilla 1998?
It was all in the same week. It was my birthday week. I'm still recovering from that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, like we've been so dormant. It's like this is barely a functioning podcast now. I'm behind on rent. Can't afford I can only afford like the electric, so that's how I can record the podcast today. So for those listening, if you want to donate to the Inside the Sequel podcast, like that Patreon will be set up soon, and you can always hit that funding on the OnlyFans page. and on our TikToks.
Yeah, I like supporting your OnlyFans. There's some quality content on there.
You know, Boozy's the only one that comments on those. What's the weird thing.
Really? He
Yeah.
is that guy who comments on OnlyFans, though.
He's usually giving feedback. He's like, hey, maybe next time do it this way.
Well, he is a paying customer.
Well, speaking of customer, I am a consumer of your podcast, The Terror Table. Of those who haven't checked it out, which I'm surprised if you haven't, it's an amazing horror movie podcast where it's you, Anthony Buziak, and Kyle. God help me how you say his last name.
Zuravinsky. See, even I slurred it. I'm like 3 sips into my White Claw. Jesus.
But you know, Kyle, he's back on one of the episodes I was listening to. It was the one with the Yorgos doubles. I was really captured by that episode. I didn't know anybody else who could do a podcast like that, let alone the Terror Table. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is the episode for me. Been having a good time listening to it.
Yeah, I love those movies. I love that guy's work. So that was fun to finally cover some of them on the show.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think he'll be able to be on here unless he does The Lobster 2.
Yeah, no, that's true. Well, we did talk about him doing a Batman movie, so.
Yeah, well, yeah, I remember that. And I also remember you talk about Stephen King stuff throughout most of that episode, too.
Yeah, I can't even get into it. I can't even get into it.
But we can get in today. So on today's episode, Mitch, I wanted you for Anaconda 2 because I remember when we were last talking about Oscar movies, you fucking stand Anaconda from 97. And that's the kind of energy I look for in Friends. So of course you had to be on here for this one.
Yeah, Anaconda, I have said, is in my top 20 horror movies of all time. Like legit, I love it. Just a part of my childhood. I've talked about it so much on podcasts recently, so it is funny that I'm back to talking now about the sequel, which I haven't talked about as much, but I definitely have thoughts on.
Yeah, I think it's weird that like the second one doesn't get talked about enough, but in my opinion, I thought 2 was pretty popular. I'm not gonna lie.
Like
I guess
back
it's
in
not.
the day?
Yeah, like I thought everybody fucked with anacondas. Like it's bigger, badder, more anacondas.
Yeah. What year was it again? Was it 2003?
2004.
Oh,
2004. Yeah.
Yeah, so around that time, this was when none of my friends would have been talking about Anaconda or Anacondas 2, but it was like the event of the year for me.
I mean, it's a little late for a sequel. You know, like I feel like with monster movies like that, like creature features, I feel like they're ripe for sequels. Like I haven't seen any like the Tremors or like Lake Placid. Well, I've seen Lake Placid obviously, but I haven't seen like the sequels and such. But it feels like those came out like candy. Like they're just.
Have you not seen Tremors? Like the original?
Oh no, I haven't. I thought this was documented. I have not.
Oh wait, I think well, you got to keep in mind how many movies have we talked about at this point together. So, but you got to fix that, man. Tremors is a masterpiece.
Yeah, I don't know why I haven't watched it yet. But it seems like I have to watch that and like Starship Trooper, you know.
You haven't seen Starship Troopers either?
I have not. No.
Chris, what the fuck, man? What are you doing? What, like, do you even give a shit about cinema?
I literally just watch the bummy sequels and then defend the hell out of them on the internet.
Well,
that's really all we do.
I remember when I was a kid, I like loved Tremors 2. And I don't think it holds up as well, but like the first one's still great. But what was the other franchise that we were just talking about?
Lake Placid?
Lake Placid. Oh. I love the original. I do not fuck with those sequels at all.
Really? Really? Because here's my big question. Is there an actual movie, Anaconda versus Lake Placid?
Yes.
Where is this movie? I feel like this is a movie to be watched.
I feel like it was on Tubi when I first got on Tubi. I have never gotten through it. Like, see, I'm not a big fan. I'm not a fan of those like I'm not a Sharknado guy and that type of shit. And I feel like Anacondas versus Lake Placid is just like an even worse version of that.
I gotta admit, man. Like I'm like the guy. I'm like Boozy, man. It's like I don't like the Sharknado shit, but I definitely like the bummy B under movies that are like really cool monster creature feature posters, and they're probably shit. I love those.
I do too. There's a couple in there that I like. Of course, I can't think of any right now, but but no, I definitely I've always been attracted to those sequels that even back in the day with the video stores where you'd have like of course I saw Lake Placid too. Didn't like it, but like if you put a property like I am whoever's trying to cash in off this shit, I'm their wet dream. Like I'm just I will fall for it every time.
I feel like being older, like not like old in the 90s, but like being like able to function and like not just be coming out of the womb in the 90s. I feel like you're lucky to have like seen a lot of the movies that came out in theaters at that time, because I feel like the memories are like vivid, and possibly like the reason for all our existential crisis and depression now that we have is because we watched these movies at such a young age and we're just slowly recovering from them.
I disagree. I think it's because we're not getting these movies as much anymore. That's why the depression has crept in so hard and heavy.
Cinema hasn't been the same since Lake Placid hit theaters
and
in
all been
Anaconda
downhill.
97.
Yeah, it's
Well, before we get to the sequel, Mitch, like, do you remember when you first saw Anaconda? Like, I need to know the backstory about the love for this. Like, I can relate to that kind of energy, but I need to know specifically with Anaconda why. Was it because Ice Cube? Because like Ice Cube was the coolest thing to me growing up.
okay, that definitely plays a role. But this is like where I was discovering Ice Cube. Like that was the first movie I saw him in, and then I became a huge Ice Cube fan. And I still like I love Friday, and I even like this. I like the sequels. No, but like what I straight up I saw this movie when I was 7 years old. It was when the week that it came out, I had watched Ernest Scared Stupid one morning, and it actually fucking destroyed me. That's the movie that scared me more than anything. Like that movie absolutely destroyed me. And so I was having like a meltdown, and of course my mom was freaking out because she knew the only way to calm me down was to call my dad at work, and he would always bribe me with bringing home a movie. So I would go, like we always had those video store magazines that would say like what's coming out each week and everything. And I was always looking at the little ones because there's always the two big releases of the week, and then there's the Anacondas and Lake Placid. And but yeah, I saw that Anaconda was out, and as a kid, like I had already seen Jaws at this point. I just loved stuff like that, like creatures and big animals. And I don't know why my brain was just obsessive with needing to see Anaconda, but my dad ended up agreeing to bring it home. He rented it, brought it home, and we had a big family night. And my sister was just like losing her shit because she's just like, if you're scared of Ernest Scared Stupid, why are you about to watch Anaconda? And it like cured my because it didn't scare me in the way that I was like petrified like Ernest Scared Stupid. Like there's a troll turning children into wooden statues and everything like that. That was terrifying. And if you've seen that movie or that creature, like I still think the troll in Ernest Scared Stupid is one of the scariest things. But then when I got around to Anaconda, man, my whole family just had a blast. Like it was such a fun experience, and like we had the movie for 2 days or whatever. So like I woke up early the next morning and watch it again. And it just became a thing. Like I realized more so in my adult life, I was like, I don't think there's been more than a year that has gone by since I've seen Anaconda that I haven't watched it at least once a year. It's just so much fun.
Dude, like you remind me of like myself growing up. Like the things like that like scared you try to find other things that would scare you less, but like to take your mind off the really scary shit.
Yeah.
I recognize that, but like growing up for me, Anaconda was actually the movie that actually scared me, and I needed to like suppress it with other things. I freaking hate snakes.
Me too, man. That's what's weird about it. I fucking hate snakes more than anything in the world.
Like I even watching the sequel Anacondas, like I still kind of like had a blanket over me and like made sure like to turn like the heat like off and like put the AC blasting, to lower my body temp, because like I don't know, dude, like something about like you see those videos, people like come into their apartment and there's just a random ass snake there, or like a fucking snake coming from the toilet or some stupid shit like that. Going to a bike path and like a snake like on the bike path or something. Like that's always been like my fear is snake. I can't do it. But like
We're both a
Anaconda,
couple of Indiana Joneses.
yeah, really,
That's
dude.
us.
Like that's such a good way. Yeah, I just can't do it. But like Anaconda for me, I think it's because like I loved Ice Cube growing up. The Friday movies and Barbershop were so funny. I didn't even know what NWA was. I just knew who Ice Cube was, you know?
Yeah.
And J-Lo was in it. And
Yeah.
my mom was a
Owen
big Jenny from the
Wilson.
Block, you know? Jenny from the
Yeah.
Block, you know? Shout out Ja Rule real quick, though, for that. I was a big fan of
Half-Past
Ja
Dead.
Rule.
Half-Past Dead and Fast and the Furious.
Yes, sir.
Monica!
But yeah, the first Anaconda movie for me, guy, was like, I don't know. Like, I got to put that movie up there as like one of those monster. Like, I love monster movies. Like, it's not even have to be like I like slashers, you know, the paranormal, but really, really like original, and not even original, but like just creature feature, like CGI monster. I know people are like, oh, CGI, but man, like that's the kind of shit I really grew up on and really enjoyed, and I have a sweet spot for still to this day. That's why I'm not like when people have criticisms about movies and CGI, I write it off, you know? Like I'm like, whatever. Like if you're like complaining about CGI in a movie, then you go find a fucking like Anaconda and put it in a movie, you know, and fucking record it doing this shit, you know?
Yeah, but that's why the first one especially though, like I loved all the practical stuff that was in the first one. Like there's still quite a bit of CGI, but it certainly doesn't look horrible. Like I know people who like laugh at the CGI in Anaconda. Like I'm like, there is much worse out there than this.
Yeah, and like I said, like Anaconda, for me, I thought the snake looked pretty fucking realistic. For a long time, it was almost like a kink for me, like anacondas. Like I'd go on the internet, like Google search like anacondas, like mouth openings.
Yeah,
and get
dude, we
scared.
do. I got the same kink. I did the same thing.
It's kind of hot, but kind of scary. I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. It's like pegging, you know? It's like, it looks cool, but I don't know.
Maybe I'll get there someday. Certainly not against it. Oh my God. As my voice cracks.
But yeah, man, these like ridiculous like monster movies that like are probably gonna be shitty CGI fest movies. I
always gravitate towards those, and same with Boozy. And it's like Anaconda, Lake Placid, Jaws, like those are all like just my bread and butter. I love nature run amok movies. I don't know if you've seen Backcountry, but that's one of my favorite horror movies of the last decade. It's a bear film from 2014. It's just amazing. But that one's actually scary. Like that one is terrifying in my opinion. But yeah, like these movies, they're just so much fun, and I still love them. I still love it.
I'm always jealous of people who grew up watching Jaws, because I didn't see Jaws until like 3-4 years ago for the first time.
That explains a lot.
But I saw Alien really early on, like really
there you
early.
Go. Yeah, as long as you saw one of the two. Those are like my two favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, I'm excited to finally watch Jaws 2 at some point, because I feel like I'll like that one maybe a little bit more.
Oh, shut up. You don't like Jaws?
Jaws is cool. It's cool. Whatever.
Oh,
like it's all right.
My favorite movie. But Jaws 2 is awesome, man. Like there's a lot of people who shit on that movie, but like Jaws 2 is just it's Jaws. It's like the same thing if it were a slasher movie and Bruce is the slasher.
Stop gassing it up, guy.
It's awesome,
you'll have
dude.
to be back on to talk about it, and I know you don't want to do that.
No, I think Boozy and I should both come for Jaws 2 if you're ever gonna do that, because we both love Jaws 2.
Okay, then we wear like those Jaw costumes like at that Katy Perry concert while we record, and we'll live stream it.
Yeah, that's what those were. Jaws costumes? Is that what they called those?
left side shark.
Yo, I worked security for a Katy Perry concert so I could get in for free. Not only get in for free, but I got paid.
Hey.
I got to see the show from wherever I wanted.
Oh?
Yeah, it was the Prismatic tour, so it's pretty amazing.
Oh.
She was amazing live there.
I feel like people sleep on, I think it's weird to say it, but I think people still sleep on Katy Perry. I think she's still pretty big.
Katy Perry. No, it's Halle Berry. Sorry. I was trying to say Kendrick Lamar, but turns out, yep, checks notes. I am white still.
Yeah. This is a
still
Drake's
white.
only podcast. Unfortunately, no room for K. Dot. Even that J. Cole-ish, get it out of here. It's only Drizzy.
You don't like J. Cole?
He's alright. He's all right. You know, he's a little gassed up.
I kind of like the new album. Pretty into it. It's no 2014 Forest Hills Drive, but you know, some of the shit slaps.
Either of those are Views. So
man, Views is complete trash compared to 2014. Views is where Drake sucked. That's where he started getting bad.
He literally said Views already a classic when the album dropped.
I know
he literally
said that. I know he said that, and I convinced myself for a long time that I liked it. But if you're reading this, it's too late is an amazing rap album. I don't care what anyone says about Drake. That album is goated. But yeah, Views was the event of the decade for me. I remember where I was when it dropped.
I think the last time I was happy was listening to the album Views from the Six.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the album opens up with 9. That's a heater. I like that song. There's a couple of good songs on that album.
Remember when Drake says, I know that's your girl, but I can't tell if she's yours or mine, but I do know. I'm always like, I ponder that, like with like lights flashing on me. I'm like, I can't tell you if she's yours or mine, but I do know. It's
I know.
like
that's the thing. There's a lot of Drake lyrics or like that just hit hard, and you don't know to thank him or one of his 26 writers. But it's like just top-notch MSN status material. You know. Speaking of MSN status, did you guys have? Or you might be too young for MSN. You probably don't even know what ICQ is.
I know Insane Clone Posse. Is that what it is?
Oh my god. So do you actually not know what MSN is?
MSN?
Messenger?
No.
Okay.
No.
Dude, that's wild. MSN is what raised everyone that I know, especially like in Canada. Like it was our first chat room kind of.
Oh.
But it's like a chat. No, but it's like a chat app that you just talk to your friends. It's Facebook before Facebook, but like with way less things. I cannot believe I'm explaining what MSN is right now.
Wow, you really showed your age, bro. Got that M on your hat. You're Luigi's brother now.
That's J. Cole. Oh my god. God, I love you, Chris. No, yes. But MSN was everything to kids around here, especially going into puberty and reaching high school and being like, yo, I got this girl's MSN and we're gonna talk. And you go into your dad's fucking computer room, or you know, this was back in the day when computers would be in the middle of the living room and you just talk to your friends. Yeah, but actually I went on, so I was in grade 8 and I went on a date to Anaconda's Hunt for the Blood Orchid that we arranged over MSN.
You're a certified squid, bruh.
Yeah, it was sick. Held some hand, got some major hand action.
Gosh, do you remember taking a girl to the movie theater for dates? I try to avoid it because I always would fall in love with the movie before the girl. Always.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That situation happened to me with Ben Affleck's Paycheck.
For me, I realized that when I watched Mama.
Mama? Like Mamma Mia?
No, like the horror movie Mama.
The Andy Muschietti. Yeah. Fuck. Weird. Okay, tell me this story.
Well, she was like a friend, but it was like a friend that was like, I was trying to finesse, you know, and made some moves. And then I was like, let's go see Mama. Let's just go do it. And she came through, you know, bought the tickets, snuck in some candy, tried to act hard. You know the vibes. And
no, I don't. You never sneak in candy when you're on a date, Chris. You flex your dad's MasterCard. You're like, oh, don't worry, I'll put it on the Visa. What? You're 15? You shouldn't have a Visa. Shut up.
Well, I was actually like 17, I think. So even better.
Just showing you're a broke boy.
And I had my parents drop me off before she came, so then she wouldn't know. And we bought the ticket for her, of course. I knew the ticket guy. He gave me a discount, shut him out. And
oh my god, this is just getting worse and worse. You go on a date, sneaking candy, and get a discounted ticket. Hey baby, you want to go on a hot date? I got a 2-for-1 coupon.
Here's how
we'll hit up the McDonald's value meal after.
And I live like right behind AMC, or like the big theater chain here. I like lived behind it. Like you could see it from my bedroom. Like I usually like rainy days, like look out the window just to see it light up.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we get there and we go to like the 1:20 p.m. showing, you know, like early afternoon.
Yeah.
Empty theater. We sit down and watch it. She's like uninterested, but I'm hooked. Like the movie's okay, but for some reason I was oddly hooked with the movie, and it really got to me.
It's a good movie.
It's pretty gothic, you know? Like that's when I knew I was into gothic horror movies, and I had a calling to start talking about gothic cinema.
I thought that was because you've always worn that dog chain with the spikes around your neck and you paint your fingernails black and
Well, it's because I have mommy issues. So a movie about mama was like kind of a thing for me. Anyway, she after the movie, she didn't want to stay for the credits. I was like, can we at least just like take an appreciation for the people who made this movie?
Bitch,
and
pay
she's
your
like,
respects.
yeah, she's just like, nah, let's go. So I'll follow her like the simp that I've always been.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, yeah, that was really fun. I'll see you at school on Monday. Easy. And then she dips. So I'm in the theater by myself. Call my dad to come pick me out. And we stopped being friends after that. And then I didn't have a friend until I went to Westminster College, where I met Daniel. And then he became my friend after that. And then
Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine if you would have just paid full price. You'd probably have a couple of kids.
Yeah, you know, I'm sure she's doing well now. I don't know. I'm sure. I hope she's doing. I'm not bitter at all.
Oh man.
What's
the worst movie you went on a date for?
The worst movie I've ever
Like
gone
where
to.
it just was awkward.
Oh gosh, buddy, that's a tough one. Maybe when I invited a girl over to my house in community college. That's why I don't call it a date, because she came to my place and I was like in community college. She came over, we watched Grave Encounters 2.
How was that?
She didn't stay for the whole movie, but I invited my boy after. She dipped midway through the movie, and he finished it with me, and we were pretty cool with it, and we fell asleep on the futon together.
That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, this would have been I guess 2017 or something. It was like fresh out of high school. I started dating this girl. We ended up dating for 8 years. But we were going to a movie. It was our first date. Yeah. And I was like I dated her for 8 years. I really liked her. So I was like talking to my sisters and my mom. I was like, what movie should I take her to? Because like I always fuck up and take them to like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Because I did see The Beginning on a date, and that was a one date only thing. Like the Texas Chainsaw The Beginning. Holy fuck. Talk about a mood killer. I took this same girl to Halloween 2. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and it was not a
girl.
Was not a fan. But no, we go, and my mom and my sisters are like, take her to the Proposal with Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds, because it's just like, you know, a lighter movie, something that's not too heavy. But I'm like, I feel weird going on a first date to a movie about people getting married.
Yeah, that's not passing the vibe check.
So I was just like, yeah, I don't know, but fuck, I guess I don't have a great track record with my movie picks, so I'll trust you guys. So we go to the theater. And she's like, can I be honest? I am not interested in seeing this movie. Can we see something else? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I don't fucking want to see this either. And she picked out Drag Me to Hell.
Ooh.
Yeah, dude. And it was awesome. But the thing is, like, it was such a wild movie and like gross that we both didn't want to seem like weirdos. So we pretended to not like it. And then like, it was like, you know, 6 months after we'd started dating, it's like, yo, low key, fucking loved that movie. And she was like, me too, that was amazing. And then we watched horror movies for 8 years, and then everything fell apart.
I feel like it'd be weird to fornicate after watching Drag Me to Hell, but oddly romantic too if she was into it.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a first date guy. I don't fornicate on the first date. I have class. My body's a temple. Chris,
I don't really know what happens after the movie, because usually they go home after. So I'm still working
and then
on
you
that
have
part.
to call your dad or your mom to pick you up.
Now they don't pick me up, but I still give them a call after. Still, I remember going on a date. It was like a group date, so like obviously there was zero chance of success on that. We watched Break On Through with Eric Bana, that really shitty like paranormal movie. Watched that movie fucking twice. Pretended I didn't see it the first time when I went in the group date, and the first time Yeah, the first time I thought about offing myself, talk about watching that movie, I was close.
Still haven't seen it, but I fuck with Eric Bana.
Dude, there's an yeah, me too. But there's an actual scene where the
I know you do, Troy.
Yeah, and there's an actual scene where they break on through glass, and Jim Morrison, because like
break on through to the other side. I
yeah,
see
from the doors. That actually played in that movie.
From Forrest Gump.
I laughed. I fucking laughed when I heard that play in a horror movie. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I don't fuck with that.
Definitely should check it out though. It's probably free on Tubi. Let's see. I'm trying to think of one. Oh, you ever go on a double date to watch Midsummer?
Oh man, no. But I saw that movie on my birthday.
I was even mad that it was like, the movie was like, very awkward leaving, but like I was more mad like because I was expecting more.
Yeah, see, that's how I felt the same way, man, when I first saw it. But I've completely turned around on Midsummer. Last time I watched it, I did watch the director's cut, but I fucking love that movie now, and I was not into it the first time. So maybe you just gotta get around to it. Maybe you just need a little maturing. Let some hair on your chest first.
I actually don't have hair on my chest. That's what
I know. I can see.
Yeah,
I was actually wondering why you're not wearing any clothes for this. It's a little weird. We're 32 minutes in, and I was like, wait, why is Chris completely naked?
It's summer 21 out here in the States, bud.
All he has is a gaming headset on.
It's sweaty. So Anaconda 2 came out in 2004, a year before the hit masterpiece of creature features King Kong from Peter Jackson comes out. And a year after Return of the King, the best movie of all time, won Best Picture. But so 2004's Anaconda's 2, The Hunt for the Blood Orchid. It stars Johnny Messner, Eugene Bird, and Matthew, I forgot his name, but you know him, and Morris Chestnut.
Matthew, I forgot his name. What?
Yeah,
he's the Matthew Marsden. Yeah, Matthew Marsden.
Yeah. Like you've seen him. I just know that he was in Resident Evil Extinction.
Yep, and Rambo, Black Hawk Down.
Oh,
Tenet.
I didn't see Rambo. The 08 one or whatever.
The 08 one is good. I ended up not watching that new one that apparently is just the worst. but
do Canadians like Rambo? Like they like the patriotism?
No, I don't. Is Rambo? I guess I don't know. Rambo's always just been like that action movie.
I think he's like the opposite of like patriotism because like in the first one the cop is like the bully to him, and it's that is especially speaks volumes today. But let's go through the cast because I think the cast really makes this movie work. So you get Johnny Messner, and the reason I think I wanted to do Anaconda 2 was because I saw my whole timeline on Twitter. Jeez, fucking Louise. Film Twitter was gassing up Running Scared with Paul Walker. Probably a good movie. You can find it for $1.50 at all your pawn shops. But people were like discovering like it's a diamond in the rough all of a sudden.
It is a diamond in the rough. But the thing is, like when it first came out, man, I fucking loved that movie. I was like religious about it. And I watched it at the beginning of quarantine, and I remember it just being like just too much for me. Like I was like, I think I just had to have been in a bad state of mind because that movie is grim and nasty and just weird and wild. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I forgot that he's the pimp in that movie.
Yeah, he's in that. And Running Scared, like I said, I remember that when people were gassing the movie up, like it was like a big thing. Like I see so many posts like Running Scared is actually pretty good. Like Running Scared's insane. And it's like, this movie that's been sitting at pawn shops everywhere I go for years. It's like, let me find one soon. Like I'm going to start gassing up a Draft Day with Kevin Costner.
You should gas up a Draft Day. Draft Day is fun. That's a good movie.
I do like Draft Day, but like I
you
said,
love dad movies. Fuck you. You love dad movies. You cannot shit on Ford versus Ferrari and then say you love Draft Day.
No, I like Draft Day because it was the last time like it was all about the sport. It wasn't about politics and my sports with the NFL. I don't like being censored, like whatever the dumb fucks in Missouri say about sports, whatever. I say that ironically. Sorry, this is an angry episode. But Draft Day, I do mess with. But then you get Eugene Bird, who was from 8 Mile, which is a fucking goated movie.
Absolutely.
I forget his character's name in that. He's like the guy who's like the middleman of like getting mixtapes, right?
Yeah, he's the one that Eminem catches him fucking Brittany Murphy. He's the producer.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
I do too, and I do remember that scene a lot too. Yeah, that movie's so good. It has, and then so we already talked about Matthew Marston, but Morris Chestnut's in this, and the reason I love Morris Chestnut is because he's in the original Like Mike movie with Lil Bow Wow.
You
And that,
you know I already know, homie.
yeah, dude, and that movie has Crispin Glover in it too. That movie has no business being so good.
Oh, it's so good.
Also, Like Mike 2, Street Ball is a solid sequel in this moviegoer's opinion.
I've never seen it. It always seemed a little sus to me. I was always a Like Mike purist.
Ah, okay. Well, Like Mike 2 is about this is in the streets, about for those who went through the mud. You probably wouldn't know about that.
No,
So
I've never.
spookish.
Yeah, I've never been through the mud.
But and he's also in Boys in the Hood, which I recently
He's also in
watched.
The Cave.
The Cave.
Yeah, The Cave is another creature feature, much like Anaconda's Hunt for the Blood Orchid. It's like that would be a very good double feature. They're very similar. Have you man, you would love The Cave.
Yeah, it sounds like if Lindsay Wilkins is from Divine Intervention listening to this, there's a double feature for you to do. The Cave and Anaconda 2.
Yeah.
I love you, Mitch, because like you bring all these movies that I kind of like I didn't ignore, but I just was literally not aware of their existence. But if I did know about them, I would have been renting them at Family Video all the time.
Yeah.
But now I know about them, so respect that.
I'm honestly telling you, if you watch The Cave, you will like it.
I feel like I
it's
remember.
It's a Chris Hurtado flick.
I feel like I know what the logo for the Cave movie is. It's like a skull, sort of.
Yeah, and then there's that guy who looks exactly like whoever you just said, Marsden. What's his name? The pimp
Matthew
from
Marsden.
Yeah, Cole
Oh,
Hauser.
or Johnny Messner.
Johnny Messner, I think that. Okay, but him and Cole Hauser, who's like he's the bad guy from Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah.
I always got them mixed up. They're always like they're like the Tom Hardy and Logan Marshall Green, you know?
No, I get that. And then like they kind of look like Zack Snyder in a way, but Zack Snyder is like a better looking individual.
Yeah, he's just like an adorable little man.
I think Zack Snyder's awesome, personally.
I do too. You motherfucker, I watched Justice League 4 times.
But this movie's also directed by
Yo,
Dwight
bro,
H. Little.
just 1 second. Are you straight up not wearing pants right now, actually? I think I just busted you. I just busted you. You're wearing flannel and under... Oh my... You're wearing... Oh boy. Now I feel special.
Yeah, I work from home on weekends, of course. So yeah.
I just saw your knee went up into the screen. I was like, this man is wearing no pants.
It's directed by Dwight H. Little, who directed also
goat.
Halloween 4. Yeah, he directed Halloween 4 and Free Willy 2.
Yeah.
You have that on your resume. I'm gonna be like up in arms. Like I'm like, this guy should have done more work.
Absolutely.
So he's just all about the sequels. Maybe one day he'll be on this podcast if we ever get past over double-digit listeners. But yeah, Anacondas 2 comes out a lot later than normal sequels, and I really like the premise for this movie, Mitch. I think I watched this movie more than the first one, which is weird. I mean, it's not weird at this point. It's not. But I did watch this one more because I like quantity is always a fascination for, I think, people who are getting into movies at a younger age. If you see more, you're going to like
Aliens.
it.
It's the difference between Alien and Aliens.
Yeah. And this movie's like there's no exception there. There's so much more anacondas in this. The crew is still the same, but man, this movie, it's like it goes right into it. You get through a boardroom meeting, you know what the call to action is. You don't even know the characters' names, but you know their personalities. You know what they're about. They get straight to like the boat. This movie just like starts off so quick. And like the intensity of like the mystery, it works really well. Like it genuinely like tries to mask like anacondas are actually the reason why people are dying right now.
Yeah, because there's a lot of them. Yeah, no, I don't know, man. I think honestly, this is just like the only difference between this and this is like the cookie cutter formula for these types of movies, and it is pretty much the exact same movie as Anaconda. But I'm okay with that when you're gonna do something like this. Like Anaconda was like the fact that Roger Ebert gave it 4 stars is insane. Like as much as I love Anaconda, like it is definitely schlocky, and I feel like this is just more schlock. and they do the exact same fucking thing. All the characters are the same archetypes, but worse actors. Like, man, I am sorry, but I am praising this movie. I'm just saying right out loud, I love Anaconda's Hunt for the Blood Orchid. I still do, and I always have. I still love the original. I like the original more. But like the acting in this movie, it's not even the acting, it's the writing that gives them no chance. It gives them no chance to be anything other than just stereotypes of those exact characters. Yeah. But that's also kind of part of the charm of the movie, because it's like, man, this is so cookie cutter and run of the mill, but it's still so much fun because we're seeing giant anacondas, and the CGI looks good in this movie. I'll say it right now. I think the snakes look good in this movie. I
do too. And yes, the writing is so transparent that the writers for this movie don't know how human interactions go about. But they put in a bunch of like product placement quotes from like commercials of the time, like the "Can you hear me now?"
Dude, part. Oh god.
Or like the part where Eugene Bird is like, "Man, I'm so hungry I would sell my grandma for whatever." And then Morris Chestnut, what does he say? He's like, "Man, if you talk about food one more time, you're gonna get voted off this island." And then it like cuts to the next scene. And I was like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, even if you're just
pop
talking
culture,
to yourself,
baby. Yeah. America, you'll eat that. You'll eat that shit.
There's so much corporate America in this movie. Like, the movie takes place in a boardroom, and like the CEO's like ready to, kick them all out. But then they're like, "Oh wait, I can get the Fountain of Youth in pharmaceuticals. Of course, I'm gonna."
Oh my god, that's one of my favorite lines. Are you talking about the pharmaceutical equivalent of the Fountain of Youth? Like, that's just the exposition for the whole movie. And it's dumb as hell. I love that these anacondas, these snakes, are eating this fucking flower that can apparently make them live forever, and it's making them get bigger. It's like, man, whatever. Like, there's just got to be something about Hollywood cocaine that's different than all the other cocaine, Like, that's just what it feels like. But fuck. How about that Eugene Bird line at the beginning where he's like, "I was supposed to be sitting in the middle between Spike and Woody in the Knicks game."
Yeah, and he was rocking a sweet Knicks jersey. I don't know which player it was. The whole movie, I kept thinking, who the fuck's number 25 for the Knicks at this time? Because I can't remember. Was it Kurt Thomas?
Remember that? Oh, fuck, I have no idea. Don't ask me that.
I'm a soft Knicks fan. Even though I'm like a huge Raptors guy, I'm a soft Knicks fan.
It's because you're a soft boy.
But the internet calls me a soy boy for whatever reason. I don't know what that means, but that's what I've been called.
I could see you being a soy boy.
But I like how the reason that they wanted to find the blood orchid was not because they wanted to live longer. It was to use it for the COVID-19 Johnson & Johnson vaccine. That's what I heard the reason for it.
Yeah. Jesus, can you imagine? If they would have just finished this expedition, we never would have had to deal with this shit. And Chris and I would never have been forced to have to do podcasts with each other.
But yeah, the writing's pretty bad. But you know what? I gotta applaud about the first movie, and especially also in this movie, because I feel like it was so easy. The stereotypes these characters could have been, it was like so easy. Like, I feel like the writers could easily inserted stereotypes in this movie, but instead of like the stereotypes of the people, they put the stereotypes of the character jobs that they play. Like the scientist, he goes insane. It's all about the research. For the grizzled old ex-military. Yeah, it's like
Han Solo, but an energy drink. Like a Monster energy drink or an Affliction shirt.
I would fall hard for Johnny Messner, I'm not going to lie. The way he battles that crocodile is pretty badass.
Dude, that is so funny that there's a scene before the Anaconda stuff even starts happening. This man is literally wrestling and shanking an alligator in the head. Like
all before Friday too, like Fuck Friday.
It's Flat Fuck Friday, you fucking loser.
Oh god,
just disrespect.
Anaconda's PG-13. I don't think this movie.
No, this movie is 14A. Well, it's 14A, and I guess that would be the same as PG. Your guys' PG-13 is our 14A.
Yeah, but like you just only get insinuated sex. You don't even get like the Owen Wilson horniness from the first movie. You just get two people button up their shirt.
Yeah, but the violence is amped up for sure in this movie.
Yeah, So like the call to action is these people want to go find this blood orchid that basically is the fountain of youth, and then they realize that fucking anacondas have been consuming this shit, and they have a time limit. Like it's a race against time because these orchids are only available every 7 years or so. And they stumble upon one anaconda scene in the lake, which this movie has a lot of, in my opinion, they're kind of iconic, like traversing through the swamp and you see like the snake scales from underneath the water.
That's
like,
the best scene in the movie. That is such, and Boozy, we talked about this on a recent Terror Table episode. You're talking about when the snake's kind of weaving through them. Fuck me, that is such a tremendous scene.
Mm-hmm.
Looks so
good. You get a lot of scenes in this movie where the snake scales are visible from the about the aerial shot. This movie also has a lot of weird angles like there's like diagonal shots, there's aerial shots, there's long shots.
It's called cinema, Chris. Look it up. Try it out sometime.
I'm just watching fucking Bionicle movies here all the time. I'm sorry.
Oh man, you are a Bionicle man.
I'm a bot, eh? But yeah, I think the movie like sets up the suspense so well, and then when you see the fucking anacondas themselves, yeah, they're CGI, but they're huge as fuck, dude.
Yeah, and they don't look bad for CGI. Like you want to see
scary.
bad. Yeah, you want to see bad snake CGI? Like watch the third Anaconda, like with
David Hasselhoff.
Yeah, like that. You fuck with that one. I still have never finished it.
I fuck with the whole Anaconda quadrilogy, dude.
There's a fourth one.
There is a fourth one, dude.
Oh yeah, I knew that. Yeah. No, see, I've never finished the third one because I don't know. I'm just a guy who respects cinema too much.
Really? Like the scientifically experimented on anaconda that goes rogue in the third one? You don't mess with that?
Oh my god. It sounds amazing.
It was the blueprint for that last
Predator.
Jurassic World movie or whatever we got.
Yeah. Oh god.
Fallen Kingdom basically is Anaconda 3.
True.
Except there's no black market.
No.
Spoilers. What do you like about this movie though, Mitch? Like you say you do enjoy it. Like is it because like there's more snakes in this movie? I kind of like that there is more like of a buildup of suspense, and I do really like the characters, even though they are basically really poorly written.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't. This is just one of those things where it wasn't going to matter. I was just going to like this movie. Like this is just like a comfort type movie for me, and it's the same with the first one. It's just the formula. Like it's extremely formulaic. Like this has been done so many times.
Mm-hmm.
But I happen to be a sucker for that type of movie. Like you had mentioned even before, like the whole aliens thing. Like it is just like it's just more amped up. It's Anaconda, but more amped up. And while I don't think it's as good as the first one, I just think like there's a lot of really memorable scenes, a lot of like really actually surprisingly intense sequences with the snakes.
Mm-hmm.
And like even with the monkey who's like trying to warn them jumping on the table. He's like, God, it's so strange. But the whole scene where the snake is like chasing the monkey through the jungle, or the rainforest, I love that. And but it's that one scene, and also one of the scariest deaths I can think of, I think, is Morris Chestnut's death in this movie. That's like actual hell for me. Like I think I would rather burn. I'd rather burn than that. Like where he gets paralyzed and then has to just like be alive and get swallowed by an anaconda. Like, fuck.
Yeah. It's a weirdly horny movie for the snakes too, because they keep talking about the snake orgies and like being in heat and shit.
Because they were talking about, because that's the other thing is they repeat a lot of the same things that I love about the first one, like where they make up facts about snakes and anacondas. And like I love how they they incorporate the same lines, like, you're telling me there's snakes out there this big.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, they repeat all the same, like a couple of like the most noticeable lines from the original. And that's just true sequel action, baby.
Yeah, no, that it did feel like a lot of times people were like randomly like experts of like anacondas and stuff. I love
Especially
how Johnny
Captain Affliction. Yeah, sorry, Johnny Messner.
He genuinely looks like, I've never seen an anaconda this big. It's not gonna like hunt us anymore. It's territorial. Well, wait, it's mating season.
Yeah, I love how he knows.
Yeah,
he knows everything about anacondas. He's like, unless Oh my God. Unless it's mating season. It's just like, shut up. How would you not know that if you know all of this other shit about anacondas? Maybe this is important information to know.
But hey, money talks, baby. Like he'll forget everything about that just for a little extra money, eh?
Yeah, he's so mysterious.
Yeah. This is the part where I talk about how Pornhub is our sponsor for this video where we say money talks.
Bruh.
But yeah, this movie just like it's bigger, it's badder, it's uncut. Actually, I feel like there's less violence in this movie. Like the snakes they kind of like swallow and then they take off. Like you don't get to see as much of like the anaconda action like in the first movie. I do agree with that. But I do feel like this movie has it's really like reaching here. But I do really applaud how the premise of this movie is basically corporate American greed is like more willing to sacrifice human life for a profit. And they emphasize that point so much in this movie where Matthew Morrison is always like, I have to get the blower gig. I can't wait 7 more years till this next thing where it blossoms somewhere else, like the Fountain of Youth and all this other stuff. But it's like, oh, well, 2 people just died. And he's like, well, there's a mutiny on hand. And then he's just like, well, I still have to give
a heck.
Yeah. And it's because he cares about the glory. He cares about the research. It's like what people are willing, like, I kept thinking throughout this movie, it kept feeling like a company asking an employee, are you willing to fucking die for this company right now? Because that's what it felt like. And a bunch of these people were like, fuck this guy. But he kept pushing on. And I can't understand why maybe in 2004 during Bush America, maybe people would fucking die for their company. But like,
that's how I felt about Roger's video when I was working. They basically made me feel like, will you die for us?
Mm-hmm.
So I get it.
Yeah, and that's like the premise of this whole movie, and it really like stabs me in the fucking side. And it's like, man, like these people are really out here doing this for their fucking company. And then they're like, 2 people already died. Also, you get a little bit of Jaws action in this, where the part where that Mexican guy in the movie is like, dun.
Ben.
Yeah, Ben.
Whack as shit. Ben did not earn that. But I love they do still that's a blatant homage to Jaws, obviously, because the score and then also how he like gets sucked underwater and then comes up and starts dragging. Mm-hmm. It's like have you ever looked up how fast anacondas can move?
No.
That adds a lot of levity for this film because they basically move at like a snail's pace. Like they can't move fast. So watching them like fucking rip around, it's awesome. And that's the thing is like, I'm not shitting on that. I don't want to see an anaconda actually act like an anaconda in an anaconda movie. That's not interesting to me. I want to see it act like a genetic super force that can just fucking teleport basically.
One of the scariest things ever, like that's why I hate, like growing up, I hated fishing and you get like near the swamp area, like tall grass, because of in fucking anacondas too, the anaconda shooting out from the tall grass in the water, just snagging them.
I thought it was always because your dad was yelling at you while you were fishing, because you always wished he would have had a football player son.
Hey, I played high school football 4 years. Starter, baby.
Wow.
But do you regret watching Anacondas 2 with me?
No, I've seen it 4 million times. I unfortunately have to own it on DVD like a broke fucking Kyle Zervinsky because they don't have it. I can't, there's no Blu-ray for it.
Yeah, there is, bro. Like, that's what I want to talk about. That's another big reason for this episode. In the realm of physical media and Blu-ray collecting, you get a bunch of other fucking stands on the Twitter world being like, is physical media dying? And I do this all the time on my YouTube channel. They talk about like physical media is dying. It's like, it's a scalper world now. Like you have to give an arm and a leg, out of print, yada, yada, this bullshit on physical media. You can get the the entire 4-movie Blu-ray collection of the Anaconda movies with the quadrilogy through 101 Films.
Really?
You can buy it on Amazon right now for like $45. But yeah, you can get all the Anaconda movies through 101 Films on Blu-ray. I don't know why
nobody said it's on Amazon. Because I only support Amazon.
I don't know on Amazon.ca, but at least in the States you can. Bless up. But you can also get it through 101 Films. 101 Films is a UK-based company, much like it's not 88 Films, which does like Italian exploitation.
Right.
Yeah, but the Alien Quadrilogy box set is fucking goated, guy.
This looks gorgeous.
Yeah, I haven't pulled the trigger myself yet, but because like I hadn't watched these in a while, so I wanted to rewatch them, and like it's in my cart.
Bro, frequently bought together. Lake Placid versus Anaconda. There's a DVD copy of that. You could get that and Lake Placid, the Blu-ray, the Scream Factory for $96. That's pretty good.
I already own that. I already own Lake Placid.
Yeah, it's a great one. Oh yeah, I
the
forgot that this existed. Yeah, your boy's gonna need to hit this box set up. I'm adding it to my cart.
Yeah.
It's $70 for me for two movies that I like. Yeah, Anaconda's fucks.
So Anaconda's 2, you co-sign, eh?
I co-sign hard, man. I think this movie's a blast. It's ridiculous, it's silly, it's fun, but it's fun. This is the kind of, if you're a nature run amok fan, like I don't know what you could want from an Anaconda sequel. Like this is way better than a sequel to Anaconda should be.
Let's not gas it up too hard. Like it's
true though, man.
I mean, I do really like this movie a lot, and it is an easy watch for me. But here's the thing, though: if you haven't seen Anacondas, I think it's definitely worth like the blind buy or just watch it. Like I rented it, and I had so much fun watching it. And if you're like me, where you watch movies, and if it's a man versus nature or anything having to do with like you said, nature run amok, that shit scares the shit out of me. And just that premise alone for a movie is worth the price of admission.
Yo, bro, hit up backcountry and then come over to Canada. I'll take you camping and we'll go hiking and we'll see how you fare. But
why
actually,
do you always want to make me come up to Canada and be isolated with you somewhere? It's getting sus, bruh.
All right, show and tell's over. We gotta get to that boat. Put your boots on. Let's go.
All right. Well, Mitch, it sounds like you really give this movie a certified fresh on the letterbox. I haven't seen it, but I'm assuming you definitely give this one a go.
I think I gave it a 3 with a heart. That's respect,
the heart.
Eh? That's respect.
The heart goes a long way. Yes, but Mitch, thank you, Mike. Mitch, it's always a pleasure having you on here. Like it's just like shooting the shit, talking about good movies. And I genuinely love just like. It is like still to this day, like meeting your heroes kind of thing for me, where it's like, oh man, it's like the guy who talked about Yorgos films and talked about Last of Us 2 on shit. It's like always a pleasure to have you on here, bruv.
Yeah, man, I love talking movies with you. I love hanging out with you. I think tonight we would have hung out regardless, probably over Skype. So it was cool that we got to talk about Anaconda 2, Anaconda's Hunt for the Blood Orchid. Yeah, yes. Yeah, man, it was a blast. Thanks for having me back.
Yes, sir. And you can check out Mitch at the Terror Table, where they put out, very frequent episodes on horror movies. It's a blast. It's genuinely one of the few podcasts that makes me crack up all the time, where even when I clock into work, I still think about the jokes that you and Boozy have. And Kyle, because Kyle kind of just takes it.
He's our punching bag.
I genuinely think about some of the things you fucking say, and it still gets me through a shift. So shout that out. You can listen to the Terror Table on basically any podcasting streaming, right?
Yeah, any podcasting platform, and you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter at the Terror Table. I'm going to be sharing some really exciting news regarding myself and some filmmaking projects that I'm working on right now. So if you want to come and give us a follow, it's going to be a really epic summer. And we got a lot of really cool episodes planned next week. Or not this coming week, but the week after. I don't know when you're posting this. We will have had Lindsay Wilkins of the Schlock and Awe podcast on talking about 2 Australian horror movies, Lake Mungo and Body Melt. So come and check that out because Lindsay rules and those movies are wild. And it's going to be fun.
Yes, definitely. I co-sign. Check out Lindsay when anything she's doing, whether it's guesting or putting on her own podcast, Schlock and Awe. Check that out. Don't forget to check out the Inside the Sequel website at insidethesequel.com. It looks like a sus website. Just click through the BS. You'll get there. Trust. You can check us out on Twitter at SequelPod. You can follow me on Hertastic_Chris. And don't forget to check out the Bummy YouTube channel. It's actually some good shit on there. You'll learn a thing or two. Save some money. It's at Hertastic Reviews. Mitch, as always, thank you so much, man, for coming on. And all I have to ask is this, bruv. if you aren't standing the Anaconda films, do you really care about cinema?
Nope.
Anyway, we'll see you next time.